Hello everyone, Craig Stage. I'm back again with another video talking with Mrs. Lindsay Havens. Lindsay has been a longtime educator here in the Athens Area School District. Currently, she's a first grade teacher at Lynch-Bustin Elementary. She's one of the 160 plus professional staff members that I think are awesome. And I wanted to talk to her a little bit today and get her perspective on a few things, specifically related to first grade, but can be related to just learning and teaching in general and what our kids are experiencing right now. So I had a couple questions prepared for her on this piece of paper, and I'm going to take a couple moments and read them off and give you a chance to answer them. Are you ready?
As I'll ever be.
All right, let's do this. Mrs. Havens, we're constantly trying to meet the unique and individual needs of our students. And in first grade, they come with a variety of skills. Mm-hmm. They're at different places. Mm-hmm. You know, what do you as a member of your first grade team, because I know you've talked to them and kind of gotten some feedback mm-hmm. here, especially at Lynch. What do you guys do to get your students on grade level in ELA and math?
All right. Specifically for reading, we test our students 3 times a year. We have a wonderful team of reading specialists and special education teachers that work together, and they pull every first grade student 3 times a year to give them a DIBELS reading assessment. And that allows us to properly place them in like a small group setting for RTII, mm-hmm. which is response to intervention and instruction groups. Students are constantly assessed to ensure that they are in the appropriate reading group, and we do make adjustments as the year goes on, you know, making sure that everything is appropriate and meets their needs, and just we push them to succeed.
Yeah, I think the important thing for people to know, and we just had a little interruption, but we're going to keep moving. The important thing to know is that you and your team work together to really kind of push kids into groups where they can work in small groups to meet that one thing that they might need a little extra help in, right?
Yep.
You know, and one thing we use technology. So technology has its place in education, even beginning in kindergarten and first grade. What are some things that you guys use? I think the one thing that I'd like you to talk about specifically is spring math.
Right.
Can you talk to me, and how does it work? How does it help? What do you see?
Okay. All right, we do use a program called Spring Math. We use it every morning prior to our math instruction. This program places students at a starting point after they take a initial placement test in the beginning of the school year. Mm-hmm. So basically they work with partners every single day, and they have to verbally talk out the facts with their partner. One partner's listening and watching, the other partner is actually working through the facts, speaking it out loud, mm-hmm. And then they switch after 3 minutes or so. So everybody gets a chance to be a worker or a helper. Then every single day they take a practice test, and it's timed just like our old school timed fact tests.
Love those days.
But this is much more organized and much more efficient. And the kids seem to really like it. Mm-hmm. In my classroom, I encourage them to keep a little chart of their practice test scores, just so they can see themselves getting better every single day. And we celebrate that. And when we beat a level and we move on to like the next skill, we have a big celebration. The kids are so happy. So we really celebrate learning our math facts. Mm-hmm. It makes it fun. This program is pretty quick, so the kids don't really get a chance to get bored. Right. And it really is, it's learning math facts. Right. So it's not anything fancy, but the program really works, and the kids really seem to enjoy it.
Well, that's great to hear. And just for the parents out there and the community members, you know, it's not just putting a kid in front of a piece of technology. It's very supervised. There's a lot of support going into it. There's a lot of checking in, checking out kind of thing. So it's a lot of work, but it actually helps those students grow a little faster because it really drills down to what they need.
It does. Again, yeah. It does. And after they take their daily practice tests, we do, as a whole group, go over every single answer. Even the ones they didn't get to, we go over every single answer. And during that time, I give them like some hints and tips of this is how you could remember this for next time. And it makes them faster and faster and faster, because learning math facts may seem like a very basic skill, but it is a foundational skill that they must have to, grow in the higher grade levels.
Yeah, and when we talk about keeping kids on grade level, we use tools like this to make sure that they learn 1 year's worth of what we feel is necessary in ELA and math, so that they don't fall behind as they move from one grade level to the next. So just to clarify some things, Mrs. Havens, as a teacher, like one of the things that I always want to talk about with people is that, student success is a partnership between home and school.
Yes.
It's so we have a role to play through the work day or the school day. I like to call it a work day because I always told my kids their only job is to be a student.
Yeah.
But it's a partnership with those at home that are doing the parenting and the raising. Just from a teacher's perspective, here in your own personal perspective, because you have children too.
Right.
What do you think is some advice you could give parents or guardians who are raising children on things to help them prepare their kids to be better learners or more successful in school?
Reading is huge, obviously. I always tell my parents when they ask that a very similar question, just read to them. Like, even if it's reading the menu or reading a road sign or the little books that they bring home from school, have them read to you while you're making dinner, and then ask questions about it. And it could just be like, what was that character's name again? What did he do? Just simple little things like that will engage the kids in reading, hopefully develop a love for reading. And it will also, if you're doing things out in the community like menus and road signs, it shows them that reading is so important. You've got to know how to read stop,
Yes,
so
very important. Very important.
so I think just encouraging that daily. And I know we're all so busy. I'm a mother of 4. I'm very busy as well. But I try to also, aside from reading, talk about their day at school. And I have teenage girls, and this is a very hard thing to get out of them, but you have to be a little bit more specific about the questions that you ask. My suggestion is to ask specifically, like, how was math today? What did you learn in math? What did you learn in history class? What did you do in music today? And just kind of have them think about their day a little bit more in depth. That also, I think, shows them that you care about school, you care about what they're doing, and also it might encourage them to be more engaged in the classroom so that they can bring something home that is cool to talk about. And I think just talking about school, encouraging positive reinforcement about school is really important. And again, these couple things that I'm talking about really can happen, over the dinner table, on the way home from school, taking kids to practice. It can happen anytime. Well, maybe not while they're brushing their teeth. That might be gross. But before they go to bed, anything like that, that just make it a positive conversation, right, so that they're excited to come to school. They want to find something cool to tell their mom or dad or grandma, grandpa, anybody. But just open up that dialogue about school and talking about school in a positive way, and reading, and just little things like that could take about 10 minutes, but will make a huge difference in that child's life.
And the best part about everything you suggested is it costs $0.
$0 and very little time, but it makes a child just...
Huge investment.
Yeah.
Huge investment.
Yep.
Mrs. Havens, I always thank you. One last thing. You've been here for your whole career?
Oh, yeah.
Right? What do you enjoy most about being a teacher? And more importantly, from my perspective, what do you love about being a Wildcat?
Being a Wildcat?
Well, Wildcat, yeah.
Okay. Well, as a teacher, I love the freedom to be creative. I love to share my interests with the students. First graders are awesome because they have so much energy and they're curious and they're adventurous. So when I bring up even gardening, like we're propagating plants right now. We're trying to grow flowers for Mother's Day, things like that. I'm interested in it, but
Right.
they're super pumped about it too.
That's great.
And I also encourage like open dialogue with questions that a first grader might ask, which may be a little off the wall sometimes, but if I don't know the answer, we take like 5 minutes and we go look it up. And I've learned so much from them over the years, from what goes on in their brains. It just makes my workday fun.
Yeah.
And
Good.
that's just, I just love it. I love this age level. But as a Wildcat, I can say I'm grateful to be a Wildcat because there is just a very deep sense of community within the schools, but also like amongst all the stakeholders in the district. Parents, alumni, business owners, other families. We all seem to have a really deep sense of pride about the schools and the facilities. And I've noticed that the amount of support that the community gives to academics, athletics, and the arts is just, it's amazing. It's truly, truly heartwarming. And that's what makes a Wildcat, is just that deep sense of pride and knowing that we're making a difference in these children's lives, and we're sending out excellent citizens into this community.
Wow. Mrs. Havens, I really appreciate that, and your passion for teaching and this career is evident all the time, so thank you. And I love that you love being a Wildcat. For all those reasons, we do have a fantastic community, both a school community and community at large that we serve and support, always dedicated to our students, so I would agree with you on all of that a million times over. So this is pretty much all we have. You might see some transitions because we might cut some things out. So good luck to me being a terrible editor, but many thanks to Mrs. Havens. Probably the first of many teacher interviews I'll do here in the next, who knows how long I keep this going, but hopefully every few weeks you see something new from us. So thank you again.
Of course.
And everybody, go Wildcats.
All right.